Look, in the Garden of Eden there was a tree called the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And then what happens? That Adam and Eve were told not to eat. Do not eat, do not touch. Do not approach that tree, because if you eat from it, the knowledge of evil comes to you. That was their disobedience. They were walking around naked, but they didn't know. Say, they didn't know. Therefore, they weren't naked. We are saying now that they were completely naked. However, they were completely unaware that they were naked because they had no consciousness of what? Of sin. They were in innocence. Innocence? They were innocent. Therefore, they were naked and everything was just fine. Do you dare to take off your clothes here, a man and a woman? Because you have already entered into consciousness. But in innocence there was no problem. But when they disobeyed, they entered into sin consciousness. And then you see that when God looked for Adam, He hid and took a fig leaf to cover Himself. He was covering Himself. Something is wrong here. They are watching me. Because of the conscience. Now what happens? That is gone. When Christ goes to the cross of Calvary, He restores your innocence, but with the knowledge of evil, because you have already known it. But in itself, God does not see you in wickedness. He sees you in innocence again. The first Adam took it, the last Adam gave it back. So you must live like you do nothing wrong. I mean, positionally, that is how God sees you. Anyone who does not learn this goes to hell every single week. He loses salvation every 10 days. He says, if Christ comes, I'm left. Surely he has a rotten conscience full of religion. Well, he doesn't know how to deal with his conscience or anything like that. If a preacher says, those who are wrong come forward, he runs and dives headfirst. The thing is, he doesn't know how to deal with his conscience. That is why those shepherds, that is what I call them, because they are not even shepherds. A shepherd is someone who knows how to herd. False pastors deceive people. When you go to those congregations where they mistreat you and treat you like nothing more than mere pieces of flesh, and then proudly they say, this is a holiness church. If you don't seek God here, you're out because you must be clean. Clean? A dirty person saying we must be clean. I am telling you that it is truly incredible, the sheer amount of ignorance that is breathed by all of these so-called Christian pulpits. I went there too, but I was enlightened, and now I must enlighten others. Because I am not here to play the role of a good person. No. I am who I am. They called me and gave me a ministry, and I am fulfilling it. And you deal with your body, and I deal with mine. Each person will carry their own burden.